So, what do? It sounds harmless, polite, normal, almost automatic. And that's exactly the problem. Most people open conversations this way because they've never been taught anything better. It feels safe. It fills the silence. It gives the illusion of interest. But underneath, it signals something else. It signals that you're reaching, that you're searching for status, that you don't know how to create depth without defaulting to a script. The moment you say it, the interaction becomes transactional. The other person doesn't feel seen. They feel evaluated, labeled, reduced to a role. This is what empty talk looks like. Not loud, not dramatic, just forgettable. And if you're trying to attract anyone, respect, attention, connection, forgettable is the worst position you can occupy. Stoicism teaches that power begins with discipline over impulse. The impulse to fill silence, the impulse to appear socially competent, the impulse to speak before thinking. When you remove empty talk, something changes. Your pace slows, your attention sharpens, your words gain weight. Today, I'm going to show you 6 Stoic expressions that replace scripted conversation with presence. 6 disciplined responses that shift the dynamic instantly. Because attraction isn't about saying more. It's about refusing to say what everyone else says. 1. Tell me more. The discipline of assent. Empty talk often begins with impulse. Someone shares something, and your mind immediately generates a response, a comparison, a story about yourself, a correction. The reaction feels natural, so you express it without examination. Epictetus warned about this exact process. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." What he meant was deeper than emotional regulation. He meant that impressions arrive automatically, but your assent to them is voluntary. You are not obligated to endorse every thought that appears in your mind. When someone says they've started learning guitar, the untrained reaction is to pivot toward yourself. "I used to play. That's easy. You should try this." These responses are not malicious, but they are self-centered. They redirect attention. They shrink the other person's experience. Now replace that impulse with 3 deliberate words. Tell me more. These words do something radical. They suspend ego. They signal attention. They expand the space instead of occupying it. You are no longer competing for relevance. You are inviting depth. Most people rarely encounter someone who genuinely wants to understand rather than perform. When they do, it feels powerful. You become associated with clarity rather than noise. This is not a tactic. It is discipline. You intercept impulse, filter it, and replace it with intention. That act alone begins to eliminate empty talk. 2. The dichotomy of control. Empty talk is often driven by fear of appearing uninformed. When asked about something unfamiliar, many people improvise. They offer vague opinions or speak in abstractions to protect their image. Stoicism begins with a ruthless distinction between what is within your control and what is not. Your honesty is within your control. Others' judgments are not. Socrates famously declared, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." This was not humility for appearance. It was philosophical precision. Knowledge begins with recognition of limits. When you say, "I don't know," calmly and without apology, you demonstrate alignment with truth. You show that your identity is not threatened by ignorance. That stability is rare. Ironically, people trust those who admit limits more than those who pretend expertise. Why? Because integrity signals strength. If you are transparent about what you do not know, your words carry greater weight when you do speak. Empty talk attempts to protect status. Stoic discipline protects character instead. When you detach from the need to appear intelligent at all times, your presence becomes solid. There is no performance to decode, no insecurity leaking through over-explanation, just clarity. And clarity attracts attention. 3. That sounds hard. The discipline of action. Empty talk often disguises itself as advice. When someone shares a struggle, the immediate instinct is to fix it. Offer a solution. Share your similar experience. Reclaim control of the discomfort. But Stoicism defines right action as behavior aligned with reason and virtue, not ego. Sometimes the rational response is not correction, but recognition. When someone opens up about stress, loss, or failure, 3 simple words can replace a paragraph of unnecessary guidance. That sounds hard. These words do not minimize pain. They acknowledge it. They create space rather than pressure. You are not trying to solve the moment. You are stabilizing it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In conversation, this means you are not responsible for controlling someone else's circumstances. You are responsible for governing your response. Empty talk tries to repair discomfort quickly. Stoic discipline tolerates it calmly. When you validate without dominating, you project steadiness. Steadiness builds trust. Trust builds gravity. And gravity attracts. 4. Silence the space between words. Not every powerful statement is verbal. One of the strongest eliminators of empty talk is silence. Most people fear it. They interpret pauses as weakness. So they rush to fill every gap with commentary, humor, or filler language. But silence is filtration. Epictetus also said, "Be mostly silent or speak merely what is necessary." This is not a call for withdrawal. It is a call for precision. When you pause before responding, you demonstrate control over impulse. When you allow a moment of stillness after someone speaks, you communicate attention rather than anxiety. Silence shifts conversational rhythm. It slows reactions. It gives weight to what follows. If you speak less frequently, but with intention, your words gain density. Empty talk floods space. Disciplined speech shapes it. The one who tolerates silence controls tempo, and control of tempo subtly shifts authority. You do not need to speak more to be noticed. You need to eliminate what is unnecessary. 5. I appreciate you, virtue over utility. Empty talk often focuses on transactions. Thanks for helping. Good job. These statements acknowledge actions but rarely recognize character. Stoicism places virtue at the center of human value. Courage, temperance, justice, wisdom. These are the only true goods. When you say, "I appreciate you," sincerely and sparingly, you shift focus from output to identity. You're not praising what someone did. You are acknowledging who they are. This matters because most recognition in modern life is conditional. It depends on productivity. But character exists, independent of performance. When you notice someone's consistency, integrity, or composure, and you name it, your words carry philosophical depth. You are reinforcing virtue rather than reward. People feel the difference between transactional gratitude and genuine recognition. The latter creates connection that is not dependent on immediate exchange. Empty talk flatters. Disciplined speech affirms virtue. Virtue-centered language builds lasting respect. 6. Know the discipline of desire. The final eliminator of empty talk is boundary. Many people say yes reflexively. They agree to plans, obligations, and requests because they fear disappointing others. Over time, this erodes clarity. Their commitments multiply. Their energy fragments. Stoicism teaches governance of desire. If you desire universal approval, you surrender autonomy. If you desire alignment with reason, you choose selectively. A calm, unembellished no can be more powerful than a lengthy justification. It signals that your time and energy are structured, that you operate by principle rather than pressure. When your yes is automatic, it means little. When your no is deliberate, your yes gains weight. Boundaries filter relationships. Those who value you respect them. Those who only value access resist them. Empty talk often accompanies overcommitment. People explain excessively. They soften refusals with unnecessary language. Stoic discipline replaces that with clarity, and clarity commands respect. Conclusion. Empty talk dilutes presence. It fills space but carries no weight. Stoic discipline does the opposite. It filters impulse, detaches from approval, validates without controlling, embraces silence, recognizes virtue, and protects boundaries. You don't need more clever lines. You need fewer unnecessary ones. Tell me more. I don't know. That sounds hard. Silence. I appreciate you. No. 6 expressions. Governed by discipline. Anchored in philosophy. If this perspective shifted something in you, I want to ask directly, which of these 6 do you struggle with most right now? Is it silence? Is it saying no? Is it admitting you don't know? Write it in the comments and explain why. I read them carefully. And if you want to keep building internal strength and eliminating empty talk in a world addicted to noise, subscribe to Stoic Herology. Here, we apply Stoic doctrine to real life, clearly, practically, and without performance. Control yourself. The room follows.